We are here and only for an answer. Where are the money that you get out of minister fund? Where are the insurance money to take away Andrew Hollis? Where are the money, Andrew Hollis? We need an answer, Andrew Hollis. We are out here to end government corruption. Andrew Hollis, you know about the jobs them that land in Jamaica. Every single does Andrew Hollis, you know about Andrew Hollis. So we are out here with a peaceful demonstration from 9 a.m. and we're going to end at 4. We need an answer about the 4-year-old child. We need an answer about Jaden. We need an answer about the corruption that they are doing in the country. I am out here as a young man standing up for my Jamaican people. I am the next call but people, listen to me. We need to arise. Jamaican people need to arise and come out and make your voice be heard. Because Andrew Hollis is walking over Jamaican people too much, and we need justice. We need justice for our money. We need justice for our money. We need justice, and justice will serve. Thank you. Yes, justice will serve. Thank you.
Jamaica, today you're going vex with me, so come close and listen to me carefully. Let me say this plainly so nobody don't misunderstand me. This is not a healthcare crisis. This is a national surrender. Jamaica, billions of dollars are being announced, bragged about, paraded in budget speeches. And at the same time, nurses are stepping over bodies at Cornwall Regional Hospital. And if that does not shake you, Jamaica, you are already numb.
Jamaica, today might vex you, but listen to me carefully. Because what you just heard is not noise. It is not politics. It is a cry for answers and a demand for accountability. A young Jamaican stood up and asked one simple question that nobody in power wants to answer. Where did the money go? And from hospitals to corruption to the G20 stage in South Africa. This message connects dots many people are afraid to connect. Let's break it down.
Jamaica, today you're going vex with me, so come close and listen to me carefully. Let me say this plainly so nobody don't misunderstand me. This is not a healthcare crisis. This is a national surrender. Jamaica, billions of dollars are being announced, bragged about, paraded in budget speeches. And at the same time, nurses are stepping over bodies at Cornwall Regional Hospital. And if that does not shake you, Jamaica, you are already numb. The government of Jamaica say they've invested billions. The Minister of Health says major renovations. And the Prime Minister says progress. But nurses are outside protesting because there are no beds, no chairs, no space. Jamaica, no dignity. Patients on floors, people waiting hours in pain, and emergency rooms packed like cages. So I'm going to ask you, Jamaica, a very simple question that nobody wants to answer. Where did the money go? Because Jamaica, you don't spend billions and end up with this. You don't renovate and end up with decay. You don't renovate and end up with protest. Jamaica, that math is not mathing. And please do not insult our intelligence with hurricanes and timelines or the "it takes time" speech Jamaicans have been waiting for decades. And this system has been broken before any storms, before all the shortages, and before every excuse. So Jamaica, this is not about weather. This is about misplaced priorities and tolerated incompetence. Jamaica, let's be real. If this was a private hospital for the elites, this would never be allowed. Now here is where I stop protecting feelings and no for uno I go vex with me. Only a few nurses stood up. You see the rest of Jamaica who has suffered and continue to suffer in these hospitals, they stayed quiet. No mass outrage. no public stand, no flood of people screaming enough is enough. And that Jamaica is the real emergency. Because now we are not just victims, we are willing participants. Yes, we have accepted the chair, we have accepted the floor, we have accepted the weight, and we dang sure have accepted the disrespect. And we say, at least it's free. Wanna just be grateful. I saw the thing set. It's just Jamaica. And that mindset Jamaica is what's unaliving us. Because Jamaica, you just don't die when the system fails us, You die when we normalize that failure. So let me be brutally honest with you, Jamaica. Most of us Jamaicans did not join the nurses in the protests because we have accepted that this type of treatment and level of care is as good as it gets. We've been trained to endure instead of demand. We've been trained to survive instead of resist. And we've been trained to whisper instead of roaring. And while Jamaicans stay quiet, the system learns one thing. Yeah, man, they'll tolerate this. Now every silent waiting room is permission. Every shrugged shoulder is approval. And every mind my business is a green light. Jamaica, this is not just about nurses alone. This is about all of us. Because today, it's the nurses protesting. And tomorrow, it's you, Jamaica, bleeding in a chair. It's your mother bleeding in a chair. It's your child bleeding in a chair. And don't fool yourself, Jamaica. No amount of money is going to save you when the system collapses. Not when there are no beds. Not when the staff is burnt out. And not when the infrastructure rots. So I am going to say this without any apology. A country that accepts inhumane health care and treatment is a country accepting its own demise. You see, the nurses that stood up, they were not extreme. They were just honest. And so the rest of us in Jamaica need to decide. Are we going to keep surviving quietly? Or are you going to finally admit that the system is unaliving us and silence is definitely helping it? And Jamaica, this is not me being harsh. This is just me telling Uno the truth. Jamaica, come close and listen to me very carefully. This is not politics. This is survival. This is about the future of our island, Jamaica. I am going to break down exactly what the Prime Minister just said at the G20 summit in South Africa. Yes, that's where he's at, Jamaica, in South Africa. Because what he presented there in South Africa was not leadership, Jamaica. It was submission. And I am going to break it down without no illusions. The Prime Minister stood in front of the G20, the 20 most powerful nations on earth, Jamaica. The same ones controlling the global banking system, the same ones shaping climate policy, the same ones holding the world's debt. And the Prime Minister opened his statement by saying, Jamaica is a success story. We sacrificed. We followed the rules. We maintained discipline. We stabilized our debt. And we reformed our economy. Jamaica, did you hear what I just said? He walked into the room like a student reporting to the headmaster. He did not walk in as a sovereign leader. He walked in as someone proving. He said, we obeyed, we complied. Now please treat us good. But he did not stop there. He used Hurricane Melissa like a tool. He said Hurricane Melissa devastated Jamaica and disrupted our development, destroyed our progress. And so now, Melissa will negatively affect our debt trajectory. So Hurricane Melissa became the reason, the excuse, and the justification. Melissa is now the currency they will use to tighten the climate agenda. But hold on, Jamaica did not just magically appear in a hurricane belt in 2025. We have always been in a hurricane belt. Storms are not new, disaster is not new. But Jamaica, the timing is what's strange. The way Hurricane Melissa moved is what's strange. The fact that the PM used Melissa as the spearhead at the G20 speech is what's strange. Because instead of talking about things like evacuation failures, delayed response, no preparedness system, no food security plans, no national shelter upgrades, he used Melissa to sell Jamaica as a victim. Not to defend us, but to justify new climate financing. And that Jamaica comes with new rules. Now, what did the PM actually ask the G20? Listen, Jamaica, because this is where it gets dangerous. He asks for IMF climate financing, resilience loans, blended finance structure, thematic bonds, risk insurance models, new global frameworks, loss and damage rules. Do you understand what that means, Jamaica? It means more debt wrapped up in a climate language. It means more foreign oversight wrapped up in resilient talk. It means more global rules controlling our policies wrapped up in support for vulnerable nations. He did not ask for sovereignty. He did not ask for reparations. He did not ask for true independence, Jamaica. He asked for money with strings attached. He asked for a system that tracks us. He asked for climate-based agreements that turns Jamaica into a case study, a laboratory. And here's the part he think we will not notice. The PM said at the G20, we must preserve the IMF resilience and sustainability. Trust. Do you know what that is, Jamaica? It is a climate loan system that comes with the following: conditions, reforms, monitoring and data control, and of course, oversight of national decisions. It is not free money, Jamaica. It is not reparations, Jamaica. It is not justice. It is climate debt. And it is disguised as help. It is a leash, Jamaica. It is a collar. And small islands are being lined up one by one to wear it. So here is what the PM did not say at the G20. He did not mention oil drilling off the coast of Jamaica. He did not mention seabed extraction. He did not mention mining deals. He did not mention foreign companies controlling our natural resources. He did not mention the Thunderball oil block. He did not mention the fault lines or the methane risk. He did not mention the environmental danger. Nor did he mention the people still suffering with no lights, no water, and no food after Melissa. He did not mention the communities that are abandoned, the evacuation failures, the destruction, Jamaica, that was predictable. He did not mention the reason Jamaica remains vulnerable: foreign contracts and a government that does not build local resilience. He did not speak with the fire of a leader defending the land. He spoke with the tone of a man selling Jamaica as a climate vulnerable investment opportunity. Did you hear me, Jamaica? He sold us as a climate vulnerable investment opportunity. You see the real meaning of that G20 speech, Jamaica? I'm a wanting to hear me loud. Your Prime Minister just positioned Jamaica as the model student of the IMF, a compliant partner to the global powers, a climate vulnerable asset ready for investment, a country willing to adopt global rules, a nation seeking more climate debt, a small island waiting on big brothers to rescue us. This is not sovereignty. This is not independence. And Jamaica, this is not leadership. This is submission disguised as diplomacy. Ask yourself, why is Jamaica aligned so fast with global climate finances right after Melissa? Right after rising oil exploration activity? Right after mining expansion? Right after seabed surveying? Right after foreign companies circling our waters? Right after the constant traveling of our Prime Minister to these climate finance and investment summits? And now Jamaica, the G20. Something Jamaica has never been invited to before. Why now? Why the timing? Why the alignment? Because Jamaica is being lined up to be the prototype. Yes, the prototype nation for climate financing experiments, resilience loan models, new climate triggered debt instruments, and global climate governance. Jamaica, wake up. This is bigger than politics. This is bigger than one party. This is about the future of the land beneath our feet. Jamaica is being treated like a climate lab, a financial test site, a resource zone, a vulnerability case study, and soon an energy hub without the Jamaican people owning a single drop. If we don't wake up now, Jamaica, if you don't start questioning now, if you don't start paying attention to the pattern, you will wake up and realize finally that Jamaica was sold, not lost, signed away, not stolen, and given up, not taken. Hurricane Melissa did not make us vulnerable. Corruption, obedience, foreign contract, and silence did. And now vulnerability is used to sign Jamaica into deeper systems that only benefit the global powers. Jamaica, wake up now.
This wasn't chaos. This was a peaceful demonstration asking about military funds, insurance money, public spending, and justice, including justice for children who lost their lives. And notice something important. This speaker isn't a politician. He is a young Jamaican saying, enough. That matters because when young people start demanding answers, it means trust is breaking. Now here is where the message cuts deep. We are told billions are invested. We hear innovations, progress, and development. But at the same time, patients on the floors, nurses protesting, no beds, no dignity. Jamaica, those two realities cannot exist together. You don't spend billions and end up with decay. You don't renovate and end up with protest. That math is not mathing. So again, where did the money go? This speaker didn't just challenge the government. He challenged us. Because while nurses stood up, most Jamaicans stayed quiet. They endured, they adjusted, and they normalized suffering. And when the people normalize failure, the system learns one thing. They will tolerate this. Silence becomes permission. Now let's talk about the G20. The Prime Minister stood before the world's most powerful nations and called Jamaica a success story. He said they obeyed, complied, and sacrificed. But leadership does not beg for approval. Leadership defends sovereignty. Instead of demanding reparations or true independence, climate loans, IMF financing, resilience debt, oversight, monitoring. That is not free help. That is debt dressed up as rescue. Hurricane Melissa did not create Jamaica's vulnerability. We have always lived in the hurricane belt. But disaster is now being used as currency. While the PM spoke about climate vulnerability, he did not mention oil drilling, seabed mining, foreign resource control, communities still suffering. Jamaica wasn't defended. It was marketed, sold as a climate vulnerable investment opportunity. This is bigger than party politics, bigger than GLP or PNP, bigger than one prime minister. This is about who owns Jamaica's future. Because countries are not always stolen with guns. Sometimes they are signed away, politely, legally, and quietly. Jamaica, wake up, ask questions, pay attention, because silence is expensive, and you are already paying.